What's good, YouTube? You know what it is. It's your boy CJ Fanatic back at it again with another YouTube video. Now, as some of you might not know, I'm a little bit under the weather, so my voice might not sound as usual. But bear with me and let's get into it. So, as you know, in my last video, I talked about towards the end of that, I talked about how I'm talking about teams, tanking. And if you don't know what tanking is, it's basically losing on purpose to get a higher draft pick. You hear that term a lot in the NBA, and you sometimes hear it in football. Now, obviously, the draft system in football and basketball are different. In basketball, you have lottery between the top 14, 15 picks. In football, the draft seeding is based off record-wise. So, if a team went 1-15 and had the worst record in the league, they'll get the top pick. Unlike in basketball, where you could literally win 20 games that have the worst record, and it's not and you can end up with the second pick. But to get right to it, the NBA has a problem with this thing called tanking, in which, like I said, teams losing on purpose. Now, notable teams that have been openly acknowledging that the tanking is the Dallas Mavericks and the Chicago Bulls. The NBA had a problem with the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, after the All-Star break, saying how the Mavericks are tanking, they're trying to get a high pick. Now, obviously, last year they finished with one of the worst records in the league, and they drafted a young promise star, Dennis Smith Jr. Now, the league had a problem with Mark Cuban, saying those statements, and they fined him over $500,000, which is nothing to him because he's a billionaire. And then obviously, over recently, the Bulls were tanking, right? So they were benching two of their best players in Justin Holiday and Robin Lopez. They basically weren't playing because they are players that can help you win. And the Bulls were like, we're not trying to win, we're trying to lose, get a higher draft pick so we can help build towards the future. And the NBA yesterday addressed the situation. It was like, hey, listen, fans pay to see the best play, not to see a bunch of D-leaguers, G-leaguers, whatever you call it, out here losing on purpose. Because it's not healthy for the league watching teams lose on purpose. If you want to be a winning franchise, you have to develop a winning culture. You can't openly say you're tanking and you're gonna lose games on purpose. One, it basically means you don't give don't give two craps about your fan base. It also means you really don't care about your team. Because like I say, players want to win. Players play to win. They don't care about what's gonna happen in the draft. They're playing for a contract, or they're playing to make it known that they can play in this league. So I personally say you need to eliminate tanking. Now, obviously, as me personally, as a Knicks fan and fellow Knicks fans, we kind of embrace the tanking because we want a high draft pick. But trust me, that's not what the Knicks want. As some of y'all might not know, the Knicks general manager Scott Perry acknowledged the fact that he wants to have a winning culture develop in New York. So they're not really full on tanking, losing games on purpose to get a higher draft pick. They want to develop a winning culture now so they can help build towards the future and contend for a playoff spot or even a title within the next following years. And it's been shown before, tanking doesn't work. 8 years ago, when the Nets finished like all-time worst, one of their worst records in franchise history, when they won like 10 games and they didn't even get the number one pick. It's not guaranteed that you could lose all these games and still get the number one pick. The lottery balls, they're the ones that determine that. It's not like in football where you could have the worst record and you automatically get the number one pick because it's based on record-wise. Not an NBA lottery system is not like that. So tanking is not always healthy. As you look at the Kings, they've been tanking for almost over more than a decade. The last time they made the playoffs was 2006. And probably their biggest problem is because they've traded away a lot of good players and then gone straight into tank mode. It's not healthy for your franchise because look at them. They've been 12 years since they made the playoffs. So tanking that all the time doesn't help your franchise. You want to win now, that means you got to have your best players playing. The fans pay, NBA fans like me, we pay to see the best play, not to see the worst play. Or to hear your team openly saying we're going to lose on purpose to get a high pick. Now, I'll be honest with you, sometimes tanking works. I mean, Philadelphia was literally garbage for like 5 years. And that obviously is lead up to them, having Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and them now being a playoff team. But it took hard times in Philadelphia. They had a year where they won 10 games. Now, obviously, it was one of the rare times where it actually led to a team with the worst record in the league getting the number one pick. And actually end up being beneficial, but like I say, not all the time is tanking work. So I feel like the NBA, they need to eliminate the tanking process and make sure teams have their best of the best playing every night, no matter what. Because it's like basically treating your fans like crap, not having your best players play. So eliminate the tanking system. Have teams play their best every night. Not losing games on purpose, because it's not healthy for a franchise, especially if you're trying to develop a winning culture. I'm gonna end the video right here, guys. I hope you liked the video. Like I said, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm not really as enthusiastic about my videos. So like leave a like, comment, share. I'm on the road to get some more subscribers. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this NBA video. I'm looking forward to doing another one tomorrow. I'm gonna keep doing it. So do what it do. CJ Fanatic out. Peace.